Hey everybody, this is Dark Guardsman, and we're back with another video. Now, this is one of those bug of the day videos. So right now, what I'm doing is I'm working on a lot of the missile code and the actual cluster missile code. Of course, most of those who have played with the current versions and older versions of stuff will know that the cluster missile has been broken since, I think, 1.5.2. Basically, after that, for some reason, the cluster missile stopped working, so the 1.6.4 version didn't really work well. 1.7 version didn't really work well. My version, which I took over, still never fixed it, and I'm finally getting around on the 1.12 version to fixing it. Of course, I will end up transferring these changes over to the actual 1.7 version when I finally get around to it, but I'm showing off the bug that has been developed, as you saw it already there. The real complication with this is that the code that is designed and set up, basically we spawn one missile every tick, and the missile is supposed to basically be set into motion and actually start falling back to the ground, but something happens. Now this could be just a defect with the fact that I'm launching it from a launcher, because if we have a target position, it'll launch via this method. If we don't have a target position, it'll launch via this method, but something's not quite right, and we end up with, effectively what you're seeing right here is where I fire it, and I end up getting missiles right in my face. I'm not 100% sure exactly how this is working out. We can at least see that the math is messed up, because right now we've got this kind of spiral going on. This could have to do with the fact that I'm not exactly stopping the missile mid-flight. I'm pretty sure this guy is supposed to be the center missile, which is definitely not working out as a plan. But it would see if we fire it straight down. So you fire it straight down, it's still doing the same exact angle system. So there definitely is a flaw with how this is working. This could just be the fact that when Calclobby designed the code, he assumed the missile would be flying straight down when it fired. It would create an angle mathematics system or some kind. That clearly is not happening though, so we're definitely getting like this angle where it's pointing off to a certain direction. It only seems to want to do it, generate the cluster, if the negative velocity sign. It has to be to a point negative 0.5 velocity, which once again assumes it's being launched from a launcher, because the only way to achieve that negative velocity is either shoot the missile straight down, or of course launch from a launcher, because it'll eventually get to that point. So if we fire straight down, it does that. It's always generating this in the same exact orientation, and we're getting some kind of weird wave pattern with this. Now this could have to do with the fact that when I'm firing it straight down, it's spawning, it's spawning one missile per tick as it moves. So what we're seeing is pretty much a flight pattern from where I'm standing downward, and it still is generating an angle, and it's creating an odd behavior when it does this, so that way these stay up in the air for a certain amount of tick, and at some point they remember, hey, I can move again, and they move, which is very strange. I don't know if this is intentional. They do have a protection time tick system, and I don't know what this protection time exactly does. It's related to the missile in some way. So you get a protection time, spawn missile smoke, and it does actually have something. It just ticks it down as long as it's live, it's running. It doesn't look like this is actually used anywhere in particular. So it does exist, and I think the only thing it's really designed to do is prevent the missile from being collided and blown up. Unfortunately, whatever code attached to that is no longer in function, so that protection tick doesn't do anything. And at some point, it's just not being set into motion. It is being launched, and the code should be running, and as far as I can tell, we're not exactly getting any errors in chat, so it's supposed to be running. Well, we're getting some errors in the models and stuff, but that's about it. So it's been a bug of the day, a very strange one. I want to keep hammering down this, and hopefully at some point today I finish this off and get this working again, so that way these do what they're supposed to do. And I think what I'm going to do is rewrite them so they spawn all at the same time, and that should partially solve the problem, because we know at least it's trying to cluster it. More likely I'm going to probably make a visualization software to figure out if the math is right. But I'll see you guys later.